我和斯科的英雄选择的话，有一些相似，是因为8.13这个版本，就这么几个厉害的英雄，然后我和他就玩的比较多吧，所以才会有些相似。但是在中路这个位置上，英雄康特也是非常重要的，所以可能会做一些准备。
Yep, definitely true for 8-13. That being said, we're on 8-14 now, so there's plenty more champions that you can bring to the mid lane.
Just saw all of the banners, or the lovely banners over my shoulder right there as well, and a reminder that Pulse and Raz are going to be wearing wigs when LGD come crashing down right
You
at the
mean
very
when
finish
they
line.
make playoffs, because they're going to come solidly in 4th place.
And we have also amended the bet. I think Rusty had a great idea that if I am correct, I
Yep.
must wear the wig, and I must apologize to LGD for ever doubting them. And if you guys
Yep.
lose the bet, which you will,
Okay.
you must wear the wig, and then you must, whichever team takes LGD's spot,
Yep.
like Suning Gaming, you must dedicate yourselves to them forever.
That's fine. I mean, the thing is, I'm the king of bets so far this split. I've won every single one I've gone up against. Actually took on, ironically, I took on Clement because he put his faith in LGD against Rogue Warriors. I won that bet. He now owes me 10 coffees. I'm still waiting on that coffee, Clement. And now I bet with LGD. So the give and take, but now's the time.
Now is definitely the time as we look at our man of the match from game number 1, PYL.
Yeah.
And it was really on the back of his Alistar play. Captain shot calling performance coming out of him, and we'll see if he can do it again on a champion that is not Alistar, because I don't think he's going to get it again.
Probably not. But remember...
Cut away! Don't look at me!
Cut the tape! Yeah, in the first game they also banned away the Tam Kench. So if they're going to ban away the Alistar, are they going to throw 2 bans towards him on first phase?
They didn't ban the Tahm Kench because of PYL. They banned the Tahm Kench because of Shen. Because they wanted to have kill pressure in the lane, because iBoy also itemized a first item Sheen as opposed to going scaling itemization on the Ezreal, which you can do, but in tandem with the Shen, it's because they wanted kill pressure. But remind me, did they get kill pressure in the bot lane?
I don't remember.
I'm going to call it a failure then.
Yeah.
But do not be mistaken, there's no need to ban a Kench against PYL specifically.
Really?
You just
feel like
ban
that's
it
the
because
case?
you want to kill someone in the bot lane.
I feel like the only champions being good on recently has been the TK and the Alistar secondary.
Fiddlesticks and Alistar.
I mean, Fiddlesticks, yeah, but you know, in that last game you were talking to me and you were saying the fact that Alistar covers a lot of the weaknesses of PYL because he can ult. Well, Tahm Kench does the same thing because that's a big old yawn coming out of Whitehall. Because you can grey health and that cleans up a lot of his early game when he goes for those face checks.
The problem is that PYL doesn't have awareness about his team. He is the type of support that when he's going in on an Alistar, on a Fiddlesticks, on something like a Sona, one of his signature picks, it's about how he can screw over as many enemies as possible. He is not a Janna player. He is not a Tahm Kench player. He is not the defensive support where he's thinking, how can I perfectly control this fight to keep my little monkeys alive?
That's true. I don't see a PYL Tahm Kench in the same way that I see like a Kahlua Tahm Kench that I saw yesterday. Again, it seems to me more like a band-aid solution. Then I think he's super, super good at this pick, but maybe consider picking up Carthus. I mean, that'd be hilarious.
You could definitely play Tahm Kench. I mean,
Ghana.
anyone could play Tahm Kench. A potato could play Tahm Kench.
That's true. I mean, there is a difference between the good and the great Tahm Kenches, of course. Saving the devours for the right times. They always seem to know where to be in a team fight. But yeah, I mean, we're on the edge right now of a 2-0 here from LGD.
We did
just
just
remind people.
Word, however, that LG are on red side. Now, on blue side, they priority picked the Shen. And so one of their bans was eaten up by the Tahm Kench because they wanted to give kill pressure down there. I'm curious if EDG are going to stick to the same strategy. I love the Shen pick, but I don't like the fact that they didn't get to capitalize on it. You know, it didn't mean anything for them in that bottom side.
Yeah, that's fair. Also in teamfights, spent a lot of time ulting and then never arriving because the ally was already super dead. I mean, that's the difference between just normal dead and super dead. Super dead is when you can have like, you know, shields and wild growths and stand united thrown on you and you're still dead. I don't know what Giga dead looks like. But I can say that I don't think PY in that game was necessarily Giga inting. Sometimes I definitely see that. I think those were tactical ints because actually following those plays got a Baron. So I would say that it was all PY orchestrated.
Or at least LGD were in a position to follow up on it. So now
that's probably more accurate, but I like my truth better.
At Y4, and I think Y4 has been a great addition to the LGD bot lane alongside PYL. It was big shoes to fill, losing him, but Y4 seems to actually fill them. Imp certainly took a downward turn on his recent performance. You can still see him over on Team WE, you know, every second Tuesday of the month.
That. Definitely a great addition. And plus it means that you have strong players in almost every lane now. like Jinu, I think proved a point. Peppa Pig. I don't know why Peppa Pig is such a thing. Big
it's
thing
Clear
in
Love.
China. Gotcha. So they just took a children's cartoon and alright, that's fine. Yeah, top lane, Jinu has really shown what he's made of in the top side. Mid lane, Yuki's always been strong, at least in the 1 versus 1. I think that's really where he shined most. And then bot lane, yeah, you're right, Y4 has basically filled in the cracks.
See what LGD are going to draft again. I hope that they draft another strong 5v5 oriented composition because EDG cannot team fight right now, and I think that's the easiest way to beat this team. So prioritizing hard engage tools like Camille, Alistar.
We expected many 7s thrown up in the air. As you said, maybe a couple 6s. I reckon you could probably change the 7 to a 6. You can use that line.
You can continue to chain the 7s together because if they continue at this rate, that's how many series losses that they're going to have in a row.
Hey. They actually have 7 wins right now, I believe. So maybe that's why they stopped winning.
Just to keep it at 7?
Keep it 7, yeah. Conspiracy theory. But you're right, they're actually... oh, what's this maneuver? Call this one the
wind-up.
He's winding up. Coming in for the haymaker. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on stage right now. As you can see, we're here for a little bit longer than usual. So probably just waiting on a peripheral, something like that. And hopefully we'll be getting into Champions Select shortly, folks. Always like looking at the signs in the crowd. Yeah, a couple golden ones. I remember yesterday, somehow someone had a picture of SMLZ smiling, and I mean like full-on grin.
Heavily Photoshop.
That's what we said.
I'm sure that's a filter on Snapchat.
And also we never saw, that's true. We never saw it after game 1. I think they removed it off-brand. All right, EDG and LGD, game 2. Gonna have a first pick of the Rise, banning away the Tam Kench again for us, with the Nocturne and Camille on blue side. It will be LGD taking away Zoe, Aatrox, and again, the Evelynn.
I find it interesting that the priority pick has shifted back to Rise. We talked about Yuki's limited effective champion pool in game number 1. I think Rise is by far and large his best champion. In fact, we just heard from Yuki saying that they have a lot of shared pools because Scout also looks phenomenal on the pick.
Now, Frosk, would you say this is a mistake from EDG banning away the Tam Kench and giving a first pick of the Alistar to LGD?
No, because they want to play a kill-oriented bot lane, and they can still do that. They still have the likes of Rakan available, Shen available. They don't have the Gragas, which is something that Mako has played from the support position.
So theoretically, a support should come in right now.
They don't have to. There's a lot of supports still left open and available. I would do it or pick up a jungler, so you can hide some of your solo lanes, but it feels like EDG and LGD have really good reads on each other, so there's probably not much that is coming out as a surprise to either team in draft phase.
They picked up the Varus, waiting towards that second pick.
They just went for push.
And they didn't go for kill. Yep, Morgana comes through for them. It's going to be an insta-log of the Yasuo. I see you.
We're seeing a shift from EDG. The fact that they took a step back, when normally this is a team that takes a step forward, very well known for their pressure around the bottom lane, for constantly diving bot lane at around 8 minutes, and now we're seeing a Varus Morgana lane.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, very powerful lane. We've seen this one really take off globally because of its push pressure, its poke pressure, and if it does lock you down with either the Morgana ultimate, Dark Binding, or Varus ult, it will kill you. But this is just not the EDG style. So again, hit the brakes. EDG recognize that something is wrong and they're scrambling to figure out how to fix it. And this tells me that their priority on the map is going to go elsewhere than bottom lane.
Not iBoy, not Mako on this one. Trundle ban out towards Clearlove and an Ezreal at Y4. We'll see what the final ones are. Also just noticed for us that we have... this is the music that we play in the LPL when it's the third and final game, so I don't know if this is LGD considering they're in their home arena and like Subtle Flame saying this is it. This is 2-0. It's already over. We're going to play the music now. Play them off.
Who knows? Maybe they have the script already.
Yeah, maybe.
I haven't gotten my copy.
Yeah, it's true. It's in Chinese and translated for us. Unlucky. Kindred will be the ban out there towards EDG. No more of that. Triple jungle bans actually towards Clearlove in this draft.
But no Sejuani.
Yeah. I wonder if they have something ready for that Sejuani in the jungle.
Well, we've got Gragas, which is also another signature Clearlove pick. Oh no.
Oh. Kai'Sa was the final ban from EDG. There's a hover over Draven. I don't know if he's going to lock it in, because there are many picks that Y4 is strong with.
He could go back to his Orianna.
Ooh.
Oh, left field.
Okay, yeah, so we saw this twice yesterday from SMLZ. He lost both of those games.
I wasn't going to say it, but thank you for reminding everyone. If you haven't watched our match of the week, Invictus Gaming versus Rogue Warriors, it was a banger.
Yeah.
Emphasis on bang.
Yeah. Definitely include SMLZ in that sentence. 100%. And we'll see this Misfortune once again in this comp. I really like Misfortune. We're seeing a lot of different AD carries come back into the bottom side for us.
What's cool about MF into Varus is that she can sort of match his range by using the double up bounce.
Yep.
And then bouncing it off a back minion and just smacking him right in the face. Of course, she can also match some of his push depending on how she wants to use her E, so I like kind of the options that he has. I just feel like she's the worst Varus at this point. She doesn't have the same flexibility in terms of itemization, is still very mana hungry if she wants to try to match all of the poke and push that Varus has in lane, but does have a kick-ass Mombo combo ultimate, especially in tandem with Alistar.
I will also say that if she lands those trick shots in lane off of the double up, then they hurt a lot, and it's actually comparable damage to a Jhin or even Varus in that laning phase. Also note that there is a Xindao in this game. Now Xindao in the LPL rocking a crispy 28% win rate over 28 games, so he hasn't had the best time so far, but Mundo on the opposite side will go to Junius. No more carry for him, he's just going to be a role filler, and it will all be emphasis on the bottom side of the map.
Still really scary that Jhin did get access to the Mundo. So many times we've seen teams fall down because they're unable to end games quickly enough before Mundo just becomes an unmovable object. And especially against teams like Edward Gaming, who do play a traditional marksman in that bottom lane, Mundo just causes so much havoc in the backline because no one can stop him.
Yep. I feel like the majority of Mundo games I've seen recently has just been Mouse. I feel like that's all he plays nowadays. You know, he has like 19 games on that champion, and his next highest is like 3. It's a sad time for Mr. Mouse on the top side.
Well, when you can 1v5 on Mundo,
that's true.
Keep picking the champion.
That was a great highlight clip. But yeah, no, it's just a super strong pick on the top side. I think the one time I've really seen it hard exploited is either when you have a Darius picked into it and there's no jungle attention top side, or your name is Uzi and you pick Vayne into it and you swap top. Those are probably the 2 times that I've really seen Mundo hard shoved out of lane.
That said, it's do or die for Edward Gaming right now. They have one more chance to try to take LGD to 3 and avoid a 5-game loss streak, the longest in the organization's history.
Yep. The cracks are showing, and it seems like the old guard, the old dynasties all over the world are actually starting to crack and crumble right now. And the new blood starting to rise. 5 and 8 currently, LGD. This will be their 6th win if they were to win here today, evening up their total in spring. Could be here right now against Edward Gaming. We'll see if they can do it. We're about to head onto the Rift as I hand it back over to Hangzhou. I couldn't tell if that person was holding a heart of gold. If they were, respect it. Ray is definitely not winning it. That's a new one. I mean, Jinu still knows he's in there, but he's playing blind. He's basically playing around the battleships.
It's that important to him that he isn't able to get access into the river, that he's able, or that he's willing to sit here and take multiple cleavers, which naturally it is Cho'Gath, so he has decent sustain into the lane. Yeah. It's not going to hurt him too badly. But a lot of vision. I believe it's 2 trinkets that got set up into that river. So EDG really giving so many tools to Clearlove to make sure that LGD have no idea where he's starting, or make sure that he gets off to a good start.
Amy and PYL going to be starting on the bot side right here. We've also got Y4 behind him.
Oh, we're playing
Goddess Misfortune.
Yeah, the new Misfortune skin.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it in game. Yeah. I think the last time I actually played League of Legends, though, was before MSI. Ah,
that's fair, yeah. No, it's a pretty fantastic skin. I believe that SMLZ ran the same one every single time. They're actually getting blocked from heading into lane right now. That's a Dark Binding landing. Gragas has to come down and assist because Clearlove's here. He's thinking about going in because he's got the Audacious Charge ready to go. Amy follows through, has a lot of damage, drops him down to half. Instant heal comes through.
Go in.
Looking for the follow-up. Again, the Dark Binding lands onto the Alistar, PYL and Struggle Street. And that's going to be beef on the menu. First blood to EDG. Y4 gets chunked down.
And a completely different start this time around from Edward Gaming. Huge props to Mako. He doesn't start the Tormented Soil that so many Morganas have done in the past to get the wave push. He starts the Dark Binding and he nails, I believe, 2 or even possibly 3 key Dark Bindings to put themselves now with first blood and in the driver's seat.
50-50 on the fan vote. When was the last time I think you've ever seen that between LGD and EDG?
Okay, would you like my conspiracy theory?
What's that?
Hold on.
You can't be like, do you want my theory? And I'd be like, what is it? Hold on.
It's not a theory, it's actually just a fact, but hold on.
I get it. The junglers are currently crossing paths, I should say. In
The
the upper
tipping
jungle.
is weighted. As in, if you tip
Explain.
for the underdog,
Yeah.
you get more back for it. And so in a lot of matchups, like if it's Vici versus Rogue Warriors
Yeah.
and suddenly you see Vici massively winning, that is not people saying, yes, they honestly believe Vici Gaming are going to win. That is them taking the gamble on that game that they can win big by following Vici.
Interesting.
So I don't give
Tipping.
those much weight.
Tipping hacks from Mama Frost coming out here. If you're a Mandarin-speaking viewer.
I only tip wigs.
Yeah. 2 of them apparently at this point.
Want to make it 3?
Well, we need to get the rest of the team involved, right? We need Rusty and Dom.
True. Here comes round 2.
He's level 3. Yuki, does he have a way out? He sees it. Instinct
the
cleanse
cleanse.
comes out, and he's also got Amy on the bottom side, who was taking Raptors. He's even got a Raptor to jump towards. That couldn't have been cleaner.
Kaleb trying to run a train on this jungle, however. He's been all over Amy's map, and Amy's definitely playing from the back foot. So, again, big tempo difference from Game 1 to Game 2 from Edward Gaming. They look much more comfortable this time around.
Teleport back into the mid lane, looking like the recoil's going to be cancelled. Junior having a good time in the top lane, but trading blows with Ray. Going to be flashing forwards, coming out the Maskers, needs one auto attack, dodging out the rupture.
He's
Ray
done
getting
so.
some health back coming from the passive. Means he has to back away.
Excellent use of the brush there from Jinu to make sure that he dropped the tower aggro because he attempted to dive Ray next to the cannon creep. So, split difference. Here comes Kaleb.
Flash into your Danger Charge and the triple tap. That's going to be an easy kill to him. Bot side's going to be something landing. Y4 trapped in place. Ivor gets a good amount of damage down, blocking out PYL's combo on top of that. EDG playing this real well in the bot lane. He doesn't miss a binding, does he?
And now Kaleb sitting 2-0. So we didn't expect that it would be about this bottom lane. Morgana and Vera should be left to their own devices and just be fine here. It's really hard for Alistar to engage. Normally against a Morgana lane, you hope that they stand too close together and then you use Morgana or whoever is the Dark Binding person to arrive to and then hit your Pulverize on the other one. That's how PYL needs to trade on that pattern. But otherwise, Kaleb should just be bouncing between top and bottom and not need to worry about, you know, PYL engaging on his bot lane or his bot lane falling behind.
And if we're talking about styles real quick, this is very different Kaleb. You know, this is no pig farmer. He's actually taking the pigs to the slaughter right here. Junior's getting chased down in the top lane, couple slows coming out, and again it's going to be a knock-up from the Rupture, meaning another easy knock-up from the Jinjiao. Swipe and Pike, that's going to be a kill to Kaleb.
Yeah, there was actually a substitution between game number 1 and game number 2. It was light Kaleb for dark Kaleb.
Ah. It's like Kaleb 7 for classic Kaleb. He's going to clear up this ward. And this is going to be seen, of course, by the bot lane of EDG, so they're going to play back, but it's nice pressure coming out from LGD. Again, Yuki's going to be caught out in this ward. Pretty placed by Kaleb, no doubt. And LGD are going to continue pushing this lane. But again, if there isn't continued jungle pressure, they will eventually be pushed back into the tower. That's going to be a deep ward for the next spawn of red buff as well here from Amy.
And it does get really scary for LGD's composition if they do fall behind. I mean, naturally with Misfortune and Yasuo, they have really strong one-item power spikes. And Yasuo can scale hard on 2 to 3 items, but otherwise then the baton starts to shift more towards Jinu and Yuki, and I feel like it's very difficult for Yasuo to execute, especially into this composition which has a Cho'Gath as well as a Rise. Never mind the fact that you also have a Dark Binding to contend with.
Certainly hard. Amy is the one counter jungling, but yeah, gonna have to knock Kaleb back. Defensive cask. And again, second Raptors attempted to be contested by Amy, stopped here by Kaleb.
Flash. They want his, yeah, no cleanse.
He just walks up and he snares him anyway. Yuki dashes through, Kaleb flashes away, but takes the swipe anyway. Win becomes kill, another one to Kaleb.
And no reason for Yuki to step up like that. Maybe he got too confident that his cleanse was just about to come off of cooldown. He did have access to the flash, but I was calling for Scout to flash. I thought for sure he was going to flash forward, try to grab the snare, and then Yasuo would just flash away, but Yuki didn't respect the positioning, and then just got caught up.
Or PYL I know what you were looking for there, but you're going to have to burn a flash in the end, and EDG will be happy to take that one from you.
And now there's so many viable targets on every single position for ClearLove to continue to attack. And he is so rich. 4-0-0 at 7 minutes in this game. He can go bottom, he can try to punish PYL without the flash and go back mid lane.
Yep.
Yuki does have the cleanse, but doesn't have his own flash, and Scout managed to hold his.
I mean, frankly, ClearLove's just running away with this early game. 4-0, he's actually mirroring the total kills in the game. He's actually smashing everybody right now, and already has his first item. It's going to be the Skirmishers and Warriors. We're 8 minutes in. I mean, this red buff didn't even know what hit it.
He does have a reputation, however, of being a KDA player. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I've read the complaints on the Chinese forums.
No, of all the players that I would have said as KDA player, I wouldn't have said it with ClearLove.
They call him a coward because the idea is that when Edward Gaming go into fight, that ClearLove is always the only person who gets out of the fight. And so they're saying that he's running away too soon.
I see.
Again, I don't agree with the analysis.
The fact that he should just die, he should just like sink with the ship, the captain should go down with the ship, is that what they're saying?
But I see you Chinese Reddit.
Yeah, okay. Meanwhile, he's still hunting, he's still waiting, but ClearLove, as you said, looking for a potential punch down on bot side. Level 5 still on PYL, so no ultimate. And Y4, while he has his, he would
this
like
is
to
the
not
EDG
burn
special. They're about to dive them with
his
Rise
summoners.
ultimate.
PYL is going to combo out, but it's going to be iBoy jumping in first. Bullet Time's going to wipe out the wave, but it's a 4-man collapse. iBoy gets a kill onto PYL, and it's going to be too easy for ClearLove. Look at the damage going through at range.
And they didn't even need to use the Rise ultimate. 9 minutes on the clock. That is the EDG special. It feels like they have gone back to tried and true, but in a very different way. It's funneling gold onto ClearLove. Normally he's the security blanket. You know, it's him setting up his laners. Now he's sitting 5-0-1. Finally gives the only other kill over to iBoy in this game.
Yeah, Bullet Time coming through, but really, what's it going to do? And ClearLove is able to just stand in front. Let's just hold all of this. Popping up the ultimate there. So, yeah, pretty well played to EDG across the board. Assisting the old ClearLove, but he's the one who has been making all of this happen. 5-0-1.
And the issue is that means that none of LG's lanes can ever step forward. Not only because of the threat of the counter gank.
Uh-oh. Yeah, has to flash the wall. Realizes against the cow, he has no escape.
But ultimately because Amy is that far behind. So EDG, or excuse me, LGD need to now expend their resources on defensive vision control to protect Amy, to get him back into this game, and to try to set up counter gank opportunities, or opportunities where they acquire information that ClearLove is in one location and then get a numbers advantage in a different location. It needs to be much more cautious play and much more setup play from LGD to find kind of these small windows if they want to start creeping back into this game during the mid-game.
I mean, you're talking about that one item power spike as well, right, from Yuki Y4. Maybe that's an opportunity to come back in, but it's about getting to that one item power spike in the first place without just getting smacked.
They're so far behind the clock right now, it is just going to be really rough that even when they do reach it, the champions like Rise and Varus will probably be on an item and a half, possibly 2 items if this continues to snowball.
Well done, John, to iBoy, but he's already managed to fight back. Soul Shackles forcing the ult there from PYL, has to.
Amy.
He's on his way down, pops the cast, flashed away from by iBoy. He actually stood in place for a second, actually couldn't believe his eyes. Yuki falling through onto Mako. But has to be careful of that dark binding underneath that secondary turret. LGD yet to find a kill, but get pressure over bottom side. Should be able to take this tower. EDG respond with the Herald.
Yeah, and it's still going to be a trade up because immediately ClearLove is booking it towards the mid lane. They want to force this down, and they also have a creep wave coming up the mid lane right now. They can continue to push through. In fact, you see the ping go down.
The one thing that LGD will get is that first tower going towards them, but Shay's going to have a crack at mid lane, get a second charge off. Recall's only now coming in for LGD. This will be a strong second charge, not followed up on by EDG.
The rotating top lane, however, Rise has access to both teleport, flash, as well as his ultimate, and they do have Mundo locked under the tower. Even if they don't dive him, Jinnu should be very cautious about backing up. In fact, he's calling for support from Y4.
The fact that 3 members have to go up there, now that they've seen no one is diving Jinnu, it means that Y4 can go elsewhere and actually look for farm, but they were actually sending so much pressure up topside.
Yeah, and it means that they're now late to the rotation. So Edward Gaming faked that they were going to dive top lane. Now you can see Mako and iBoy on the bottom side of the map. Y4 is trying to down back towards the bottom lane, but he could lose his bot lane tower for this. So great mind games and macro play from EDG in the first 12 minutes of this game.
Luckily, Misfortune, a good marathon sprinter, has that strut, of course, on the passive, so we'll be able to make good time towards the bottom side. But ClearLove what he's looking for now, because he's completed his boots, completed his jungle item. Now he is hunting for a kill, and he's hunting for a blue buff.
I mean, the nice thing that LGD have going for them is that while EDG have shown a propensity to continuously dive them bottom, it is still very dangerous to do so unless EDG do it perfectly. There's both flashes up for Y4 and PYL. Alistar's just about to have his ultimate right now, and you're still dealing with bullet time. So, yes, EDG could dive them, but they need to do it perfectly, and there's always the chance that LGD could turn it back because of the two champions down there. I feel like EDG should continue to focus on mid lane. Use the hard CC that Ryze can provide, and try to catch out Yuki. Or just passively force bot lane without diving it, unless you're 100% sure it'll work out.
I mean, I know we were skeptical of Mako. It's just like, hang on, Mako, why aren't you picking a kill champion? Where's the Rakan, Mako? Bullet time is just going to wipe up this mini wave. I like it coming in for Y4. But I honestly don't think I've seen him miss a binding. This entire, while I've been watching, he's not missed a single binding. Somehow he hit that one with maximum rain through a minion wave.
I mean, Mako has always been one of our top tier supports, if not the best support in our league.
Yeah.
I personally think Ming's playing a bit above Mako right now, but doing his best Morgana impression.
It is still a debate, though, and I think that in itself is interesting. Realm Warp is going to be following through. Cleared up. He's in there. Oh, double flash. So, oh no! What a disaster. Caught out in midair. Rupture's going to find him. Locked down is Jinu. 7 kills now to EDG.
So well done from Ray there. Even flashes to make sure that he can close the distance. And if I'm Jinu, I'm just pissed off. I was in the air, mate. How was I hit by something on the ground?
I know! Doesn't make any sense. Rupture doesn't even go that high.
But as we were talking about, I feel like EDG, the real answer was to team up with the Ryze, to use the hard CC to attack the mid lane. They finally crack it, and instead of trying to force bottom lane into Misfortune and Alistar, they eventually turn their sights back towards the top side.
Ooh, someone's got Demolish. I think it was Ray. Nice. Yeah, very rarely see Demolish nowadays. But I know some people have been stepping away from Chrysalis, but the very least bone plating. Ivory's going to get a good wave in the mid lane. And it's just all coming up EDG. I mean, like, this is a near perfect game from them. If the bottom lane trade did come out, Tower for Herald and Tower, EDG would actually be on track for a perfect game. But it was all calculated. They haven't made a single mistake so far.
A lot of that was off the back of mistakes from LGD, however, to get Clearlove so fed. And it is really easy to run away with a game when you have as much experience as Edward Gaming and Clearlove do, if you're handed, you know, 5 kills out of the game.
I mean,
so,
sure.
I mean, it was nice from Mako to set themselves up for it, but this is not a type of game that happens twice.
No one perfect games LGD twice in a series.
Well, no one walks into bottom lane at level 2 and beats over, you know, 2 kills.
I don't know, man. I'm starting to regret this bet just a little bit. Scout gets to knock down this tower by himself. I don't think anyone's going to react, really. I mean, at the same time, Clearlove is also protecting him on his flank. So no one really wants to go to the bot lane at all. That is definitely a death sentence. And finally, we have hit first item power spikes for LGD. It's going to be a Phantom Dancer mid lane. Oh! Couple flashes away, turns into nothing because Mako flashes out of range, but LGD is still looking for it. Uh-oh. Yeah, it goes with the perfect timing. Clearlove also kind of wasted right here. There's the bullet time, going to get a good amount of damage on Sled Sinjao. Flash forward from Mako, it's a big shackles coming through, and Clearlove somehow still alive. Finally, will go down to an auto attack coming out of that Misfortune, but LGD are pushing EDG back right now. Ray, he's big though. Door knock him out from PR once again. He's getting so much mileage out of this Alistar. He'll finally go down to the hands of Scam. What a perfect timing. He'll drop out of the way of Amy, who goes all the way through. Y4 tanks another hit off of the overload on the backside. Ibo will get that kill. Jinu over the wall. Good cleaver to finish the fight, but Amy in the 1 versus 1 against Scout. I don't rate his chances. Scout following through once again, and the bounce off of the minions. He'll get another kill.
Almost looked like disaster as Ivo is still chasing over Jinu. He's not going to catch him on the ward. I think he made it out.
I think so. I think he's safe. He headbutts the chair and he's going back to base. But 11-2 now, LGD gets something back. And that was them starting a fight to their credit, but EDG finished it.
And it almost looked like the classic Edward Gaming, that they had overcommitted to a target that they couldn't immediately burst. In this case, it was Amy. Uses the perfect timing, becomes invulnerable, and it feels like EDG have got poor positioning into the bullet time as well as into the cast. Clearlove dies almost immediately and had so much of the gold from Edward Gaming down. But Ray does such a great job. He zones off 3 members of LGD, traps them in this choke point, and then just allows Scout and iBoy to walk front to back on this composition and save the team fight for EDG. Huge credit for Ray to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually got another fight opening up live right now. Mako, he's caught out completely. Yuki's going to get the kill right here, but Ray's following up onto LGD. He wants some pain to be exchanged. He's going to find the feast on to the Alistair. Tastes like beef. Clearlove following through. He pops the ultimate. When it comes lightning, that's going to be a kill. Bullet time over the wall is good. When wall follows, but EDG are still pushing forwards. Jinu, he's regenerating, but Amy, he can't quite do that. He's a Gragas. And Ray, he's taking all the damage he needs to, and again, Scout and iBoy given all the space they need.
And LG are just running headfirst into the meat grinder right now. Now, the only good news is that they're not really losing anything for this. It's not like Edward Gaming have the wave set up that they can transition this into a tower. There's no Baron available, and it's just an Ocean Dragon. But ultimately, there's no reason for LG to continue face checking this. It's just an Ocean Dragon. Just let it go.
Just calm down, man. It's just an Ocean Dragon. Yeah, I mean, it was started off looking for a pick on to make, and we were like, fantastic, perfect opportunity. We have the numbers advantage, but we're in a choke point. Look how much damage iBoy's putting down.
I think the mentality from LGD is that they feel that they have access to their cooldowns, whereas Edward Gaming didn't. But it is by the sliver. Y4 uses his bullet time basically as soon as it comes up, but
the scream over the wall tells him to shut up, and he stops firing those bullets. That would actually be a fantastic bullet time coming in from Y4. But again, Ray just caught him. That's actually one of those small things to even think about, the fact that Ray can instantaneously stop a bullet time using his Feral Scream.
I mean, realistically, he shouldn't have the ability to, because bullet time should be far enough away.
I mean, I understood the theory right there from Y4. There's a wall between me and the enemy team, but yeah, skill shots turn out. They can go over walls, so
And
bad, man.
now we're at a position where the next dragon will spawn around 25-26 minutes for an Infernal, and that's going to be exactly where EDG are like right in the pocket. They're going to feel great about that, whereas this Misfortune never really got off the ground, and she is slowly going to continue to sit on the ground. There's no lift off.
I mean, I always get the theory when I see a Misfortune, but they just haven't worked out so far. And I'm not saying it's all Misfortune's fault, but
I mean, she has to have a bigger impact in the lane phase. If you have, you know, Hex Flash, PYL, and Y4 Misfortune,
yeah,
the idea was very clear about how you're going to play in that lane phase across from Varus, and it just never happened. And that was because of the huge fumble in the bot lane, which is why I say a game like this doesn't happen twice. You know, you don't walk into that brush against Morgana, get Dark Binding 3 times, and basically lose your entire bottom side of your map in jungle. You basically play this out because you're on stage. If that's the scrims, you're like, FF.
Yeah, end it right here. Because this is typically how, you know, 99% of those games are going to go. You know, we're 20 minutes in, and EDG have what? Almost a 6,000 gold advantage right here. It's absolutely absurd. And EDG are just kind of going through the motions. That was a double up off the back of that minion, landing onto iBoy. Yeah, does a lot of damage. He's going to be able to farm back up and get his health back over time, but again, when Misfortune hits, she does hit hard. It's just finding it very difficult to do the, you know, the first bit.
Look at PYL. He's looking for a really deep flank. Cast your mind back to game number 1 and when EDG met their maker.
Yep. This time it's topside. They'll never expect this.
He's got flash. He wants to walk into Raptor Pit, and he wants to flash over the wall and do it.
I think EDG had an inkling, and it's just like, there's 4 members here. Who's missing? Alistair. What did he do in game 1? Oh yes, I remember. Same position, same flank. This time, Jinu knocked up. He's instantly going to pop his ultimate, almost gets burst out. And it's the bullet time going through, not going to affect Clearlove. Absolutely, he blocks all of that, but he's still tanking damage on the front line. In the back though, that's a last breath landing. Yashua's going to die. Great focus in from EDG, but they're getting routed here. Jinu is leading the charge, and Y4 outputting the damage. iBoy though, untouched, and he's able to turn this one around. Oh, on the backside, it's going to be a kill onto Rise. Cleaver landing, but Jinu, he's got no ultimate, and he's about to drop. Has to flash away here.
Now LGD did lose their tower, but reminiscent from game number 1, they do manage to crawl their way back in game number 2 with another big pulverized combo from PYL as well as the bullet time from Y4. That was probably best case scenario for LGD. Yes, the tower goes down, but they don't lose really anything else.
iBoy will get the Raptors. Feels good, man. First death on the board to both Scout and Clearlove, I believe. 6-1 and 6, 4-1 and 5. see how that one started. It was EDG cracking open the mid lane and feeling like they had a fight ready to go.
And again, another issue is that majority of their gold is on Clearlove, and he takes the full brunt of this bullet time, is forced into perfect timing, and then will flash out the side. Remember when I said that he's a KDA player? Of course, he was buffed because bounties mean a lot more. He's 6'1" and 6, so he is a very wealthy prize to take down. But he was first man out.
Yeah, he definitely was. Jinnu, Mundo Ball champion, by the way. Perfect cleaver right at the end.
I don't actually believe Clearlove is a KDA. I don't want to see that in Reddit.
Yeah, you know, someone's going to cut that, and then
it's
going to be all
joke.
over Weibo. It doesn't matter what you say from here on out, Frost. The power of the internet, they can edit. iBoy, he's gone for a lot of damage in that last fight. We saw an equal amount actually coming in from both Jinnu and Y4, to be fair.
Can he get out? Oh no!
What? Oh no! Jinnu hits the ultimate, but he's slowly dying. As long as he can get over the hump of it. No, he couldn't.
The fact that Mako held his dark binding the entire time.
Yep. He just knew he was dead. LGD, from bad to worse. Bottom wave about to be sieged in here. I mean, I like the fact that they're pushing up, but they need to not lose any more members. Baron's also up, so EDG. Oh, that's going to be a big bullet time onto iBoy at the full bottom lane. He just destroys both of them. Yuki comes in with a kill credit. A little too far in, EDG. No tanks on the front. Here comes Ray. Is it enough, though? He's going to gobble up someone on the back lines. Clear now on the retreat. Or Y4. He's feeling it.
That's a mad monkey.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't decide to kill them, though. But that was 2 kills instantaneously. LGD continue for the fight, but still end up losing.
To be
Yuki
fair,
and Amy die.
Real mad monkey. If I destroy multiple members with bullet time and then I don't automatically win the team fight, I'm real mad.
Yeah.
That was huge damage. 2 items complete for Misfortune right now. We talked about how she was really struggling to get off the ground. Didn't think she was going to get it back. But again, it was the fact that PYL turned that last team fight around. That Y4 getting more gold, now 1, 2, and 5, so many assists into his back pocket. He's where exactly he needs to be. And if Ray's not standing in front of him, silencing him, and absorbing a lot of this damage, then...
I mean, that was the difference, wasn't it? The fact that Ray wasn't there at the start of the fight, no silence, that was a full challenge. This is 3 seconds of pain here out from Y4.
And you can see how practiced LGD are. They talked about in the earlier interviews that their scrims have been going well. They felt that their synergy was on point, and you can see it to effect in these team fights. And then Ray shows up and good night.
Yeah, turns out Cho'Gath still does a lot of damage with that ultimate, but...
Look at his eye-dubs.
Yeah,
Huge.
He's a big old Cho'Gath. I mean, he's 505 as well, so he's just got all the stacks in the world. He's just been stacking and stacking and stacking.
The scary thing is that they have Ryze and Cho'Gath. At any point, if Edward Gaming want to get real tricky around this Baron, between the Ryze ultimate and the Cho'Gath beast, what is little LGD to do? I mean, the nice thing is that if you fight in the Baron pit, their Venn diagram is really big.
That's fair, yeah. That is one thing. But iBoy's also got his Blade of Ruin King complete, so think about how fast EDG are going to burn this. I give it maybe 4-second stops.
Look at how big he is.
I don't know how he walks around like that.
He is the size of Baron.
How does he fit in the jungle? I actually think it would be funny if Cho'Gath reached a certain size and he just couldn't go through certain places.
I would
but then he got
love
other
that
abilities.
as a mechanic.
Yeah. But then everything else scales up with his size,
he can
right?
kick terrain out of his way, and
Wouldn't
if it
that be
hits
so
you,
sick?
it sees you.
That would be so cool.
And then the terrain is missing for 10 seconds there.
I mean, didn't they try to do that with a different champion?
I think the spaghetti code break.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Yeah, because I mean, there are some terrain abilities, like Talon can vault over terrain. That's the first step. Maybe the next step is Cho'Gath eating terrain. I remember Cho'Gath Eat the World. You were around for that? It was a mini game.
Yep.
Yep. It's a good one.
You gotta be in that
top
scout.
side. Oh, is this apparent or is it a fantastic play? We'll see. Gonna be knocking both of them away. Yuki gets a lot of damage up front following the last breath as the arm penetration, but gets taken down by Scout. Amy locked in place. Mako chimes in with the kill. We'll call that one apparent.
It was an intense trust fall, but in the end, Clearlove put his trust in the correct guy. Scout knew what he was doing. They were able to take them down, and now they have full access to this Baron without any sort of smite contest. It is just the bullet time and PYL that stand between Edward Gaming and the Big Purple Worm.
Believe in the heart of the bullet time. Come on, let's go. Jinnu stepping up to the plate. PYL as well, defending his AD carry. Bullet time over the wall, and everyone splits like the Red Sea. EDG Converge back onto the Baron. It's going to be an easy kill onto the Baron. I think there was a Mundo in there somewhere. He's dead. iBoy claims kill credit. 22-6. And EDG, this is their game to lose.
And I completely understand that Clearlove is sitting 7-1-9 right now, but Ray has really been the standout member for me in these team fights. The fact that he just quickly silences, hits the feast, completely denies any sort of Baron counterplay there from LGD. Like you said, EDG's game to lose. Looks like game number 3 from here.
It really does. Relatively fast one as well. 27 minutes on the clock with this Baron buff. Yuki, you can see he's got these mechanics, he's wrecking those minions, but again, we can see this play coming out from EDG. It looked dicey. They actually gave them a solid like 3-4 seconds of just like, alright kid, show me your best shot, and they just dropped them both where they stood.
And I think the issue actually was in pushing them away with the cask, as opposed to trying to follow up and lock down the CC. Like if you did barrel into body slam, into knock up, and then maybe try to blow them away from the cask, because that distance allowed them to kind of divide and conquer.
I think Amy was A, looking for damage, and B, thinking, well, it's a Yasuo, you can dash after them, but yeah, in the end, definitely didn't optimize, because I think that small sliver of HP that Scout had might have been the difference maker of Yuki picking up a kill and turning that fight, but yeah, Ray, actually, I can't tell if he's being damaged or not by that tower, I'll be honest. But they're going to take down this one regardless. Yeah, that was demolished. And LGD, they are looking to see what they can do. They're actually looking towards bot lane. Scout, he is Zonya'd up. He flashed away. Look at that shield! Amy's going to get the lockdown. He'll finally die. Mako finds the binding onto the Alistar. He'll receive an arrow in turn. And EDG, that might actually be enough to send them packing, at least for the next 30 seconds.
It shouldn't have sent them packing at all. They should have taken that inhib while Scout was dying. And this is kind of the cracks in Edward Gaming and why they're trying to figure out how to fix their team. Why the hell did they pull off mid-inhib?
I don't know. They're actually trying to play it quote-unquote safe. They're going towards the top side of the map. That
wasn't safe. That was them trying to pull back to Scout when he was very clearly dead.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're probably right. EDG moved to top side though. They're looking for this tower. Bullet time, trying to clear out the minion wave, but again, the rupture is good. Get off my AD carry. Oh, I can't deal with the Zinjao. He's going to get him anyway. Jinu pops the ultimate. He really wants some time so he can regenerate back up. That Cho'Gath is ridiculously big. He doesn't take any damage.
He blocks everything too.
Yep. He is the guy that you want. I can't think of a sport where you want a really big person.
Football, rugby, wrestling, sumo wrestling.
Ah, yeah. That's why I have you, Frost. You're the yin to my yang. And it'll crack open the top lane tower, crack open the cold tower with the boys. And it's going to be all the inhibs falling, and EDG, it just felt like this game was already in the script, it was already written down. It was in the ledgers that they were going to pick up the second game. We're going to go for one final fight, Yuki. Clearve already gets the kill onto Alistar. Jinu getting chased back. Again, he pops the ultimate and half kills himself. Yuki, he's back onto the fountain, and EDG just seeing all the kills that they can get because they want to make this one hurt. Because we are going to go to game 3 in Hangzhou.
Very different look from game number 2. Clearlove was basically free-fed so many kills early on, allowed them to run away with the early game, and then just repeatedly punch LGD in the face come mid-game. Good attempt though, there were some good moments. Again, PYL getting decent flanks, Y4, huge ultimates, but wasn't enough.
Yep. It was unfortunate because it was the ripple effect in the early game that eventually became a tidal wave come late game. And as you said, you know, if this was a scrim, that's the wrong side. Get back to your inside. Anyway, yeah, if this was a scrim, it would be all over. There's a lot of fan support coming in here today for EDG in the home arena of LGD.
Look at that damage. Y4 managing to put up the big numbers by maximizing those bullet times, but like you said, this is not a game that you play twice. Edward Gaming, they were gifted the early game.
They were, and they made the most of it, to be fair. 30 minutes exactly. I feel like we had another 30-minute game the other day, but yeah, 30 minutes exactly, and EDG closed this one out. I mean, that is probably the straightest goal graphic of all time as well. And yeah, Y4 met iBoy in the middle there on damage share, but ultimately it was about everything else that happened. And I think really that crucial binding at the start of the game into the next binding and the next binding, probably the one that was the last nail in the coffin at like 3 minutes into the game. So unfortunate, but we know that LGD are capable of more. You know, we literally watched how game 1 went for them. So coming into this final game, they still have a shot at taking down the champs.
Yeah, but it's now kind of a matter about how they do it. Need to kind of clean up some of those cracks, make sure that they don't overextend themselves or overexpose themselves. It's clear that coming into game number 1 and game number 2, that EDG have really definitive level 1 game plans. It was the delayed invade in game number 1, and then it was the top secure by placing all of that vision on top river, and then moving down into bot lane, possibly looking for a level 2 red gank, because both junglers came down at the same time. So I feel like LGD, they've seen now 2 footages or 2 tapes of what EDG are doing at level 1, and they need to come with a strategy. Either have some sort of champion that can empower their level 1, or be very defensive and kind of a 5-man point.
Yeah, I mean, not face checking is probably a good one as well. You know, just like maybe just playing defensively and making sure that you can get just like an equal early game, so at least you can go for a 50-50 towards the mid game, you know, and actually have a shot.
Yeah, it's either grab maybe something like a Braum and make sure that it's like, okay, if you want to invade, I will just destroy you with my Braum passive, or like you're saying, just do a defensive 5-man point, rush to your positions, lay down your trinkets, and then just back up and allow your winning lanes that when you put them together to actually win.
Yeah, you know, no half measures, I think, is probably the biggest thing to take away from that. Clearlove is going to be our MVP coming in. I definitely think the early game was set up, but, well, I take that back. Clearlove was running around from lane to lane smacking people, but I think that that crucial banning was a big part of it.
I mean, Dark Clearlove definitely showed his face right there. At least when you set up the bowling ball pins, he was able to hit the strike, knock him down, so... Yeah. Can say that for Clearlove. Also a better performance in game number 2 from game number 1, and showcases that he can still be a carry for the team.
Yeah. Who was your MVP, Frosk?
Ray.
Ray, yeah. Ray was a big one. I also think that Mako, if Clearlove's the one to get the MVP, and with making the bowling ball analogy, Mako was the one who was holding his arm. You know, he rolled it for him. Felt like it. He came with the setup.
Have you ever been bowling?
Yeah.
It's not a 2-man sport.
I mean, neither is this game. Cross is a 5-man. Either way, we're going to take a short break. When we get back, we're here for the final game in Hangzhou.
想要征服他人，必先战胜自己。EDG 的队名就是鞭策我们的动力。